So UFC 313 happened, and there was some dumb moments, I will say, in the main event, especially in some of the other fights on this card, and there was a couple pullouts which I didn't appreciate. Made the card start very late and made everything just not complete. It didn't feel like a pay per view. ESPN fucked up, and I will get into the main card in this video. So we'll start with King Green. King Green. Bobby Green versus Mauricio Rufy. So, I'm not going to call him fucking King. His name isn't fucking King, he's Bobby, especially after this fight. His name is Bobby Robert Green. Bobby Green fought Mauricio Rufy, and it didn't last very long. At 2 minutes in the first round, after some trading on the feet, Mauricio Rufy hits a spinning wheel kick KO on King Green. King Green, Robert Green, knocking him out cold in spectacular fashion. Makes a great name for himself, a great name for the fighting nerds in general. Gene Silva had a great press conference the other day. I chose to take the week off on videos because it was my birthday festivities, and there wasn't much going on, and the press conferences were kind of ass. But Gene Silva had a lot to say in his last press conference, and with Mauricio Rufy doing this in his most recent fight, the fighting nerds are on the fucking map. Every single one of them is fun as fuck. Different personalities. They're not all the same. What they are all in common is very exciting. And Mauricio Rufy spinning wheel kicks King Green out cold. Amazing. So good to watch. I picked Rufy to win by round 1 KO. And it was just written in the stars that Bobby Green, his chin is gone, and Mauricio Rufy has a ton of fucking power. A wheel kick is not what I expected, but I'm very glad it's what happened. Very sick, very hype. Probably the only hype thing to happen on this entire main card, for me at least, going forward. This gives the UFC at least some hype. The rest of the card, I don't think so, really. I did okay on predictions, but as far as what the UFC has in the future, it's just looking dull right now. Jack Della Maddalena better fucking win. Ilya Topuria better win. Otherwise, I might stop watching this dumb fucking sport. So we go to Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo. So ESPN decided to stop working. Or it stopped working for the Mauricio Rufy fight too. But it's decided to really just stop working at all. And I was watching it halfway on my phone, halfway not. And so I didn't really catch a really good glimpse about the Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo fight. I looked back at the Mauricio Rufy fight, but this one, for some reason, I just didn't feel the need to look back on it. So, from what I saw, it looked like it was a back and forth grappling match with Amanda Lemos on top most of the time. 3 to 5, 3 takedowns for Amanda Lemos, 1 for Yasmin Lucindo. Pretty even on strikes. I see that's where Amanda Lemos got the win, was through the grappling and the control time, which it's not hard to believe. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that one. Next, Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. So round 1. Again, another round 1 finish. Pretty cool. They went back and forth on the feet. They got into a weird grappling exchange where Bahamondes ended up on the bottom, Jalen Turner on top. But Ignacio throws up a triangle choke, and Jalen Turner just gets caught in it. Just randomly throws it up, gets caught in it bad. Jalen Turner cannot get out of it. He tries, I guess. Not really. I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird situation. But Ignacio locks in the triangle choke. There's another triangle choke on this card for Bruno Ferreira. For Ferreira? Something like that. But Ignacio Bahamondes submits Jalen Turner in the first round by a triangle choke. I predicted Ignacio to win, not by fucking submission. Kind of weird that this whole thing happened. But he gets it done. Jalen Turner, he decides to retire. To Turner. That's my bad. He decides to retire from the sport, which is very interesting, considering he didn't have a bad run before his couple losses recently, so I don't understand why he would retire, but I guess I kind of get it. He's also just not very smart, and he makes dumb decisions. And if you're listening to Ignacio Bahamondes, which I don't think is a terrible loss, but you're definitely not going to get a title shot, is all I'm going to say, a lightweight especially. So yeah, Ignacio gets it done by triangle choke in the first round. Kind of impressive, actually. Kind of interesting to see what he does moving forward. Another tall guy to take place of the tall guy in the rankings up high, I guess. So, yeah. Ignacio gets it done by triangle. Kind of cool. I don't hate it. So yeah, next. Co-main event. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. So, I went Fiziev. I thought he was going to be able to chin Gaethje, who I thought his chin was kind of gone after the Max Holloway loss, and I thought Fiziev was going to be fresh. What I turned out, I was wrong. Very wrong. Fiziev, he was not on a full camp, which I knew that going in, but I just thought he would have I thought his cardio would be a little stronger. I thought he would be ready for a fight. He was not. I will say he's probably more lenient in his time off than I thought. Fiziev, his cardio lacked, and Justin Gaethje definitely didn't. He was jumping up and down the entire fight. Fiziev, right after the first, you could kind of tell he was slowing down. I gave the first round to Fiziev, to be honest. I thought he just did a little bit more in the striking department. I thought he was throwing good. I thought that's where Fiziev has the most explosive movements throughout the whole fight, which is true. I mean, he did. I thought he was just doing good. He ended up on top in a grappling exchange and started slamming elbows into the side of Justin Gaethje. He almost got a mounted triangle or some shit, which he maybe could have gotten it, to be honest, if he would have played it a little better. But he got some crazy 12-6 elbows right into his gut in that position. And on the feet, Rafael was just a little bit more active, I would say. Second round, Gaethje starts picking it up. Fiziev starts just losing it. He can't get it together. Justin Gaethje starts throwing hard, and he starts throwing good. In the clinch, Fiziev has good knees in the clinch. He was throwing sick knees. But Gaethje would have this fucking overhand right in the clinch that landed every single time they would clinch. And they clinched a lot. But Gaethje was just finding his shots. Rafael wasn't really throwing. He found Gaethje in a couple of exchanges in the second round, but nothing special. Gaethje was the one putting the pressure and just throwing unorthodox, crazy strikes like he usually does, and he was just landing. And he also, I think he rocked him in the second. If I remember correctly. Yeah, he knocked him down in the second. So what am I even saying? Yeah. He knocked him down in the second too. So with a crazy good fucking uppercut in the clinch. So yeah, clinch work. I thought Rafael was probably going to be better in that, being from Tiger Muay Thai and all, but I guess not. He fucking sucks in that department, I guess. Justin Gaethje, probably on a full camp, he would have did better. He doesn't suck, but Justin Gaethje gets it done. I'm getting ahead of myself. Third round. He rocks Fiziev in the second, giving him the round. Third round. Justin Gaethje keeps doing what he's doing. Fiziev, I thought he rocked him in the third, but he just, for some reason, Fiziev didn't want to throw to the head when he needed to throw to the head, and he wanted to throw to the body when he needed to throw to the head, and he wanted to throw to the head when he needed to throw to the body. He was just all over the place in terms of where he actually needed to implement his game plan, so it just didn't work for him. His strikes were good, and like he knew what he was doing, but he's just throwing him at the wrong times, I thought. Maybe I'm just being biased and just a little bit like why, just confused, but I thought Fiziev kind of had Justin in the third. I thought he hit him clean, and I thought he rocked him. I thought Justin was kind of like, oh shit, for a second, but he just only threw body shots for the rest of the fight. So I don't know. And then Gaethje was throwing to the head. He was doing the same thing, getting in the clinch, throwing that overhand right, clipping him every time they would get close. Gaethje's good at that inside game, and Rafael just wouldn't capitalize. He wouldn't do his thing. He wouldn't try to trade. He would just take shots. And at the end of the day, Justin Gaethje clearly got this fight by decision. This one wasn't as close as the first one. I gave Rafael Fiziev the fight in the first fight, but Gaethje clearly got this one, I thought. I think he clearly got the second and third. And yeah, sadly, for me at least, Justin Gaethje gets this fight just because I like Fiziev a lot, and Fiziev going up the rankings as a prospect at least is a little bit more interesting to me than Justin Gaethje fighting a Poirier or a Hooker and then retiring. Because I don't think there's a way in any circumstance really. I mean, there's a way, but I don't think it's super likely that Justin Gaethje gets a title shot or anything anytime soon. I know he's super fucking exciting, and I do love Justin Gaethje, but I just need a little bit more, at least title contention worthy hype for these lightweights. But Justin Gaethje, he's on his way out, so it's okay. I'm okay with it. Justin Gaethje's a very fun fighter, and I do like him a lot. I'm just a big Fiziev guy, and Fiziev didn't fight the way I thought he was gonna, and Justin Gaethje is gonna retire soon, so it's just a hype diminisher to me. But Hooker's obviously an option. Poirier is definitely an option. I'll get to that in a different video. So yeah, Gaethje gets it done. Next, the main event. So the main event: Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. I went with Pereira. I thought he was going to be able to knock out Magomed Ankalaev, do a little bit better on the feet. I thought he wasn't going to be able to. I thought Magomed wasn't going to be able to implement his wrestling as well as people thought. I was correct. He went 11. He went 0-11 on takedowns. 0-12 on takedowns from Magomed Ankalaev. He could not get his wrestling going. All he could do, grappling-wise, was hold Alex Pereira on the fence, which apparently won him the fight. But we'll get to it. I'm not super excited or agreeing with this decision, but there's some nuance to it, I guess, so we'll get to it. First round, I thought Alex Pereira easily, clearly won the first round. Just out leg kicking Magomed Ankalaev in the first round. I thought it was clear. I thought everybody kind of saw that way. Alex Pereira, nothing really happened except for leg kicks on both ends, and Alex Pereira was throwing more. So, give Alex Pereira the first round due to leg kicks. Second round, Magomed Ankalaev, I gave him the round. I thought he was a little bit more busy. I mean, shit, everybody gave him the round. He had that moment with Pereira at the end where he rocked him. He was putting a pressure that Alex Pereira had a hard time dealing with. I will say that is true. Pereira was getting his own shots off. He was still getting leg kicks. He just wasn't throwing very much with his hands, but he was still doing good on the feet. I thought it was pretty even until Magomed Ankalaev rocked him. I thought that clearly gave Magomed the round. Even if he didn't rock him, I still thought Magomed kind of did more in the round. He just was throwing more power shots than Pereira was. I thought that clearly won him it. Even before the knockdown. Or not the knockdown, the rocking. But he did rock him at the end of that round. Very big moment for Magomed Ankalaev in the second round. I thought that gave him it. Next, third round. I thought this is kind of the swing round for me. I think this is the big fucking round that decides the fight. Because I think Magomed got the fourth. Spoiler alert. I thought Magomed got the fourth, and I got Alex Pereira winning the fifth. So the third is the real big decider, to me at least. And in the third round, I fucking had Alex Pereira winning. I know Magomed Ankalaev put a pressure. I saw Alex Pereira getting his kick still. I saw Alex Pereira jabbing to the body. He was getting his hands going a little bit more. He had that slip and rip. Magomed Ankalaev, his big thing in the third was landing a pretty good amount of strikes, but his big thing was holding Alex Pereira up against the fence and failing takedowns, and got booted off the fence from the ref, saying this was boring as fuck, and taking them off the fence. That was the story of the third round to me. That won Ankalaev the fight, in my opinion, was him holding Alex Pereira against the fence and kneeing him in the thigh, and having the ref say this is boring as fuck and separating them, only for him to take another fucking jump into the takedown. I actually don't remember if that happened in the fourth or third. I think it did happen in the third. I know that shit happened in the fourth too, with the fence grabbing, or him holding him against the fence, but I think that's crazy. No matter what round it happened in, I think Alex Pereira clearly won the third round. It's crazy to me that holding someone up against the fence can win you the round and win you the fight at this point in the UFC. When Alex Pereira had good takedown defense, didn't let the Dagestani who's been wrestling his entire life take him down. This pure kickboxer, Magomed couldn't take him down one time out of 12 takedowns. He couldn't take him down once. To be fair, Ankalaev did great on the feet. I will say that. He gave Alex Pereira a lot of problems. He never let Alex Pereira get going. But where Magomed is, it just seems like these Dagestanis just love to make the fights just mid. They can't excel in anything unless you're Khabib against someone that can't fucking wrestle. They always just make it so close, it seems. Right now, at least. They always make it so you're like, oh, fuck, I don't know who fucking won. It was boring, or it was a super fucking close, barely edged out fight because of control time. I hate that these fights always fucking end in who controlled the other one better. It happens way too often nowadays, and it's just so annoying that this is a decider. And not all of this rage coming out of me is rage totally on Magomed Ankalaev. Alex Pereira should have done more. He definitely should have done more. But fuck. The fact that the judges can give Ankalaev 49-46 because of holding someone against the cage is just fundamentally wrong. Scoring, in my opinion, it just ruins everything I love about this sport, which is the hype and the crazy moments. It just ruins it all when you just have that incentive. Pereira said in the post fight, you have the incentive to hold someone against the cage the entire time and win a fight. It's been perpetuated by this fight now, by Belal, by Merab, by Mario Batista at this point, by Volk in his early career. It's just staying as an incentive, and it's gonna continue to grow, especially because fighters like Pereira now has lost. Fighters like these good ass fighters, Leon Edwards. I think Leon Edwards boring as fuck, but he's lost to that kind of style now. It's just so fucking annoying for anything fun. And I'm all for the fun. That's the only thing I watch the sport for is the fun. I don't watch the sport. I love the martial arts as a whole. I'm a huge martial arts fan. I love it. I love watching for every technical ability any fighter has. But at the end of the day, it's a sport for entertainment first, in my opinion. And this just ruins it when people know they can do this. And another thing, the commentary, the fucking glaze for Ankalaev doing, especially from DC. I know he's biased, but holy shit, you can't be that biased for these inbred mountain freaks that you're just gonna say they're so biased on commentary for wrestling, especially DC. And it was crazy. I get that they're usually a little bit biased for Pereira, but fuck, it was another level of bias for Ankalaev's game plan of holding him up against the cage. I understand. The bias and everything. And I might be a little salty because of my pick being wrong and it's my favorite fighter. But still, unbelievable to me. Ruined it. I hate the commentary right now. But I've hated it before this fight. It's not just because of this fight. It's not just because of this insane bias from Magomed Ankalaev. But fourth round. We're finally getting to the fourth round. That's my bad. I thought Ankalaev won the fourth round. I thought he was a little bit better in the striking department. I thought he was a little bit more busy. I think he did some holding up against the cage in that round. But I do think he was more busy on the feet overall in that round. I think he did a little bit better. Alex Pereira couldn't get going very well with the pressure. I will agree with that. But I definitely think he was getting going. At least equal tit for tat. It was a close fucking fight. But I did give Magomed the fourth round clearer, especially way clearer than the third, which I gave to Pereira. The fifth round, Alex Pereira. I thought he clearly won the fifth round. Clearly is a strong word. It was a very close round. So this fight came down to the fifth round for me. I thought it was 2-2 going to the fifth. I did give Pereira the fifth, but it was very close. It was a very close striking match. I thought what gave Pereira the fifth was a sick fucking jab that kind of stumbled Magomed a little bit and had him coming forward a little bit scared a little bit more. And Alex Pereira was putting on a bit of pressure, kicking more, jabbing to the body more. He was just doing a little bit more in the striking, to me at least, in the fifth. But not every judge, especially Saul fucking D'Amato, fire that fuck. He's retarded. Saul D'Amato is the worst judge of all time, giving 4-1 to Magomed Ankalaev. I don't understand how he's still a judge. Every single one of his scorecards is the worst scorecard you've ever seen in your life, and he's still a judge. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid. But it doesn't really matter because two other judges said the same shit. Or, no, the two other judges gave Pereira the fifth, but I don't understand picking him for the third. But it's whatever. The fifth round, I thought Alex Pereira was just a little bit better. At the end of the round, Magomed held him up against the cage some more. Couldn't take him down for shit. And yeah. Oh yeah, Alex Pereira had a little bit of a cheeky trip at the end of one of the rounds where he got Magomed Ankalaev down. So anybody to hit the fucking mat in this entire fight was fucking Magomed Ankalaev to a sick trip. That's all I'll say. If anybody had success in the grappling department, it was Pereira. But the goddamn commentary saying, "Oh, Magomed just seems more comfortable in these positions. He seems like the better grappler." You can't take down a pure kickboxer who's only been kickboxing his entire life. And you've only been wrestling your entire life. You can't say he's more comfortable there when you can't dominate a fence position and take down someone who's only been kickboxing their entire life. It doesn't make any sense. But this is where our sport's at. This is what wins the rounds to the judges. It's just, it is how it is. Jack Della Maddalena has to win by knockout. Otherwise, he's losing to decision. It's just how it is. So, they gave Magomed the fifth. I didn't think that should be the case, but they did. So, Magomed wins the round. At least on Saldi Amato's scorecard. And Magomed wins the fight by unanimous decision, which I thought was a very close fight. I didn't think it was a robbery, but it was not the right decision in my opinion, especially for the UFC. Usually they lean to where I feel like usually decisions for the UFC go in their favor, at least a little bit. But this fight did not go in the UFC's favor at all in any way, is what I will say. This was just the worst thing that could have happened for the UFC. If Magomed got a knockout, that's way better. If he got a submission and dominated, way better. It was a boring decision for Magomed Ankalaev going forward with no hype at all on either end. And this is just happening too often now for me. I know it's happened a lot throughout UFC history. There's been a lot of boring decisions. There's been a lot of boring title fights. But I feel like we're entering an era where the personalities are getting duller. The fighting styles are getting duller. And it's not looking good for the future of the UFC in terms of if we want $1 million pay-per-view, if we want anything cool, especially because fucking ESPN can't handle a pay-per-view at all. On this level, how are they going to handle $1 million pay-per-view? My ESPN crashed like 10 times. Ruined the roofie knockout for me. Everything about this card pisses me off, and I hate it. But, no bias. I'll make a matchups video. I think Alex Pereira should move up to heavyweight. I don't like a rematch right now, to be honest. I think Alex Pereira should go up to do cool things while he's youngish. He's getting old. I want him to move up. So yeah, that's the main card in a nutshell. I'm not super pleased, but I don't hate it. It's just not optimal for me. So yeah, I think that's about it. Let me know what you think. I will see you soon.